Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be a short market review for Bitcoin for September the 20th, 2022. And I'm just gonna point out like all the setups that I saw, all the clean setups that I saw, based on the teachings of ICT, Inner Circle Trader. If you don't know about him, I don't think this video is gonna be too informative for you, but yeah, if you are following his teachings, then yeah, this video might help you in your studying, because that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just marking up all the setups in the charts, and yeah, maybe you can take something away from it. And yeah, oh, and I'll leave ICT's YouTube channel in the description. Gonna link it. So let's jump right into it. I marked here that swing low with the fair value gap because we're gonna deal with it later on, because this is gonna act as liquidity in the morning. But the first setup I see on this chart is in like during the London session, right up here. We have a push up above these highs here, and after this we have a sell-off, a shift in market structure, break this low right here, and then after this price pushes back up into this fair value gap. And if we use our FIB tool and pull it up here, we see it's just above the 0.5, so it's in a discount. It pushed up into this fair value gap. Let me mark that out for you. Here you can see it. It pushed into the fair value gap and then started to sell off. And yeah, perfect target for that is this low right here. That's the first one. Let me use this one, liquidity below, sorry about that. And then it continues to push into like there's a little bit of fair value gap here as well, so let's say all of this. So yeah, that's the first trade that I see. It's on a 15-minute. It's during the London session, so probably most of you guys wouldn't trade that if you're situated in the States. But yeah, that's the first setup that I see. It's quite a nice setup. It's quite clean. It's on a 15-minute. It's quite slow to trade because you have to wait quite a long time until the price reaches your targets. But it's a very clean setup and it's worth looking at it. The next setup is right in this area after the 930 liquidity run. So we push down, we break this low, we take the liquidity here, we fill this fair value gap, and at 930 you see there's a lot of volatility. That's according to ICT, market open, a lot of volatility. Smart money tries to push you out of the market. And yeah, let's jump into the 1-minute chart. Okay, there we go. It's on a 1-minute chart, so it's not that nice to trade, and you have to look at the 1-minute chart to actually see it. But yeah, it's a clean setup, and if you are as me just studying ICT's teachings, then it's good to look at. So we have a swing high here, and let me draw that out for you. We have a swing high here which is broken. This means we have a market structure break or market structure shift. So after this we can be bullish, like we have 930, price pushes up, then breaks the 930 low again, and then starts to push up, leaving a market structure shift. Here we have like fair value gaps, right? On the come up, there's a fair value gap then right here, which is pushed into. And let me pull up the FIB tool as well, and you can see it pushes down into a discount below the 0.5, into a discount, and then it starts to push up again. Entry for that would have been down here, but it's not the cleanest setup because it is on the 1-minute. Usually setups on the 1-minute are not as clean as on higher time frames, but they form more often. Like you're gonna find way more setups on the 1-minute than let's say on the 15-minute. but you also have to be quick on the trigger. And yeah, targets for that, I mean, first up would have been this swing high here, which is just above, gets taken out 1027. That's the first thing, and then above this you can see here is a fair value gap, which then gets pushed right into. And if you would have held that through, then you could have attacked like these highs and that high, but I'll get to that later because that plays a role in a later trade we're gonna get to next. So quite a nice trade here on the 1 minute, but as I said, the 1 minute chart is, you know, not that nice to look at because there's just a lot of stuff going on. The next trade is a little bit a cleaner one on a higher time frame. It's under 5 minute, and let me readjust. Yeah, it's exactly here. We were in this area earlier, looking at the 1 minute setup, and now we have a 5 minute setup. As you can see here, we have a push up above this high, but not above this high. If you take a look, let me use that tool. 19180, the high of that, and the high of this candle is just below the 180. So meaning we got very close to breaking it. So very close to getting this liquidity, which is here in the form of a fair value gap and the high. So we're very close to getting that liquidity, but we are not. Like, we didn't take it yet. So price is likely to want to get up to that because it got very close to it and then it started to retrace. And this is exactly where we have our trade setup. If we pull up the fib on this run up, which broke these highs over here and filled this fair value gap right here, and we can see it started to retrace, and it retraced right into, first in the discount, second it filled this fair value gap right here, and right into this block, which is an order block. Let me use that. It touched that order block. If you can see it here, take a look at left upper corner where you can see the open, high, low and close for that candle. The low of it comes in at 18989.86 and the high of the order block is 18993. So it pushed in by about $4 into that order block. It touched it in a discount, filled a fair value gap. Perfect setup for a trade. So after this, it started to push, and sure enough, it ran that high, pushed through the fair value gap, and I mean, you could maybe say there's a fair value gap in this candle, probably in a lower time frame. Let me check. Yeah, there is one on the 3 minute. Let me mark that up for you, and boom. That is a fair value gap. Pushed right into that. I mean, I would have loved if it would have attacked that high, but it didn't. And yeah, it left it up for today. It ran it now. Sorry, just had to check something. Yeah, it ran that right now, just a couple of seconds ago. So it left that out, and once again, okay, price came very close to a high. Sorry about that. Liquidity above that, you know, with a fair value gap, and today, if you, like, we can look at it. Let me get back. Perfect. So, boom, here the high, here's the high. It did not run yesterday on this run up with the fair value gap, but today we ran into it. So let's get right back into it. So that's the 5 minute trade, or the trade on the 5 minute chart, which we saw here. Perfect target is this fair value gap. Then there was kind of a trade during lunch. I'm not too keen on trades during lunch because, yeah, lunchtime means iffy price movement, if I may say so. But pull up the fib on this rundown. I mean, first we see the push up and then a sell off during lunch, which with this one broke this low right here. So we have a market structure break right here. With this candle, there's a fair value gap right up here. Boom. And if we pull up the fib tool on this, we see it just pierced into that. You can see it. It just pierced into the discount. So, yeah, could have gone short here, and you know, targets first up the 930 low right here. I mean, that's the first target you can go for, or you could have gone for here. And then, I mean, I think it attacked even this low right here. Yeah, it did. So yeah, these would have been your target prices because this fair value gap already has been filled. So you can forget about that right here. But this swing low and this swing low right here would have been target prices for this trade. But as I said, it's during lunchtime, which is always a little bit iffy. Like I wouldn't trade it, and usually if I review it, I don't save those charts. I'm looking at them, so I'm looking at setups during lunchtime, but I usually don't save them as they can be iffy. But right after lunchtime, we had the sell-off, which saw us break the 930 low and this low over here. And if we zoom in into this area, we find a trade on the 1 minute chart. It's quite a nice trade setup on the 1 minute, and I think you can see it right away. I mean, it's this push up right here, which first up, I mean, market structure already has been broken here, like we have the push down, and then this high takes out this high, which breaks market structure. So we're already in an uptrend. And this run up right here is the one we're looking at. So let me pull up the fib tool, and we see price then like pushes up, continues the upwards trend, retraces down right into this fair value gap in a discount. So first there's a couple of fair value gaps. First one is here, filled, boom. Second one is here, has been filled. Third one is here. This is exactly the one it pushes into. And we also have another thing. If you can see this candle right here, which acts as order block. Let me see if I can draw that out. Yeah, just the body of the candle. I mean, the whole candle is an order block, but if you look exactly at the body, you can see how these bodies over here respect that. Let me zoom in a little bit. But if you take the cursor right here and pull it up, you can see it's a perfect line. And they do respect it. So always the closers, or like the bodies of these candles, respect that line. They wick through it. This one fills the, like this one goes quite deep. But the body of the candle respects this. So that's something we like to see, because this is very clean price delivery. We really like to see that. Just one sec, I have to check on my recording. Okay, all good, all good. And okay, so that would have been the entry. You know, you even get two chances right here. So first chance is right here. We see, okay, respects the order block, respects the order block, then the doji candle, and that was your first chance to entry. Then it pushes up, and then another one, like it pushes down one more time. Like we don't mind that. It can push down again. Like here, let me show you why it might have pushed down again. So let me remove that, and let's take a fair value gap, and if you pull that up from here to here, you see there's a little bit of the fair value gap which is left, has not been filled yet, hasn't been filled on this rundown. So price comes down once again, fills this fair value gap fully in, and then cruises away upwards. And here targets for this would have been, I mean, first up we have this fair value gap right here, which has been pierced but not filled. Price fills it here, fully in, goes back in, fills this fair value gap right here, perfect, starts to push up further and attack this high right here. So there's liquidity above with, if you look to the left, a fair value gap. I mean, let me pull it out like this. Like there's just some imbalances right here. And price attacks those, and then yeah. So this would have been your trade. First target is this fair value gap right here. Second target would have been the high, and then, I mean, you could have left a little bit of position and see if it maybe attacks this high, like these equal highs right here. But I don't think it did. No, it did not. I mean, it did today, but you know, didn't do it exactly in the session. So let me see, just have to check on my list what is the next setup. Okay, yeah, there's one more. It's on the 3 minute, and it's exactly right next to my cursor right now. It's a very clean one. I like this one very much, even though it's at like 5 p.m. or after 5 p.m., which is outside of ICT's trading hours, because the market closes there. So, but for crypto this is not true. Crypto goes 24/7, and you can, like, there's volume at that time as well. So price delivery can be very clean until like, yeah, 6-7ish p.m. After that it usually consolidates. So 5 p.m. is still fine. I wouldn't necessarily trade it, but I would definitely like mock it up. Just look at it, maybe paper trade it. You can do that. I mean, honestly, just paper trade anyways. Like, I do not encourage you to trade with live money. I'm not trading with live money. I'm not even encouraging you to paper trade it. Just don't trade. It's, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, it's gambling. And we do not want to gamble. Just study with me. Studying is all we want to do. Okay, so yeah, let's look at this example right here. I mean, we see price pushed up. It took the liquidity above here, like these equal highs, that high, it pushed right through. It didn't push above that, so left that alone. But even though it didn't, it took enough liquidity. After that, price did sell off, and we have market structure shift right here. Boom, crashed through that, left behind a beautiful fair value gap. That's not what I want, damn it. Left behind, there we go, a nice fair value gap. And just one sec, let me check my recording just to be sure. Okay, all good. Yeah, should be fine. Okay, so where were we? Exactly, fair value gap. Let me pull up the fib tool. The fib tool is your friend. Always look, does it get to a discount? Yes, it does. Here it pushed up into fair value gap, well into a discount, and then it started to sell off. Targets for that, I mean, there's no fair value gap or anything on this side you can use as a target, but there's two nice swing lows where there is liquidity below. There is liquidity. So you can be sure price just wanna get to that liquidity. So first one, boom, took the liquidity, pushed up again a little bit, and then crashed down into the second one. Didn't get that one, but that that is quite a significant low. Don't know when we're gonna attack that, but didn't attack it in that session. So yeah, I think that's all the setups that I found, all the setups that I put into my journal. I hope it helps you study. It definitely helps me study. And yeah, hopefully I see you guys tomorrow. Take care.